Hi guys, welcome back to our second podcast for Maple Hill Farm. Thanks for listening to it on our YouTube channel. Maybe you're on your daily commute, or just on a road trip, or just sitting down at home. Okay, so in today's podcast, we're talking about ducks. Is it worth it to keep them? Ducks are about the same size as chickens. There's not quite as many varieties to keep as chickens, but if you really look into it, there is a lot of varieties that you can get and keep. Number one example, a buff duck was developed by the same man who developed Buff Orpingtons on the same farm. Those are pretty cool. And then there's Pekins, or however you say that. They're good for eggs and meat. And then there's runner ducks, which are very good for eggs. So, ducks are also, their eggs can be worth a lot of money since they are a lot more rare than chicken eggs. And depending on your area, they could be worth up to maybe around $7 or $8 a dozen. So if you had runner ducks, you could probably potentially make a lot more raising ducks for eggs than chickens. I'm not going to say that you can, but it's very possible that you could. The duck eggs are not as common as chicken eggs, and some people can be allergic to them. I know some people can also be allergic to chicken eggs. I don't think there's a good way to tell if there's more people that are allergic to duck eggs than chicken eggs. Then there's people that are allergic to chicken eggs. I don't think there's anything that tells that because not very many people comparatively eat duck eggs compared to chicken eggs. So that's something to keep in mind. Maybe test some before you get some, or if you're just going to raise them for meat, that's probably okay. And they are very good for, they're a little better in the garden than chickens when stuff is actually growing, because they might not eat the plants as much, although you should probably keep them away from lettuce and other greens and stuff like that. But they probably can be used in the garden during the growing season a little more than chickens can be used. They also are great for meat. I don't think there's any meat ducks that that can grow as fast to butchering age as the Cornish cross meat chicken can, but I do think that they can grow, some of them, like the Pekins, can grow pretty fast to the meat stage, so they can also be a good source for meat, because you might be able to sell the meat for a little more than chicken meat per bird and per pound, because, again, duck meat's probably a little more rare. And another thing to consider is that they shouldn't be raised with chickens, because they like to play in the water and splash it all around. And that's about it for today, guys. Thanks for listening to this short podcast on YouTube. Maybe I'll eventually get these podcasts up on like a podcast app or something. But if you have a Bluetooth in your car or whatever, maybe you can listen to it in the car going somewhere. Or otherwise, you can just listen to it at home or someplace with Wi-Fi. Okay, guys, thanks for listening. Be sure to check out our other podcast, Plymouth Barred Rock. And when the other podcasts come out, be sure to check those out too. You can find us on Instagram at Maple Hill Chickens. Okay, guys, thanks for listening today, and be sure to tune in for the next episode.